He killed immortals. He defied fate. But the one battle he couldn't win was against himself. We celebrate his rage. We marvel at his power. For years, we've controlled this destroyer of worlds with our controllers, never realizing he was never in control of himself. What if I told you the rage you hold on to, the thing you think makes you strong, is actually destroying you from the inside out? This video isn't just about mythology or video games. It's psychology. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This is a story of Kratos and the shadow self. And by the time we're done, you might realize this isn't just about a god. It's about you. Here's something mesmerizing about watching Kratos tear his enemies apart. Isn't there? The raw power, the unstoppable force of his rage. But what if I told you that Kratos' rage, the very thing that seems to make him unstoppable, is actually what keeps him imprisoned? What if his greatest strength is his most exploitable weakness? This isn't just about Kratos. This is about every man who's ever felt powerless and turned that pain into fury. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the part of ourselves we reject but can we never escape. The part that whispers in silence, reminding you the things you did or failed to do. In case of Kratos, his failure to protect his family. Kratos didn't just hate the enemies. He hated himself, his weakness, his guilt, the pain of losing his wife and child. Kratos believed that destroying gods would quiet the screaming inside his mind. But the more blood he spilled, the louder it became. Until you make the unconscious conscious, Jung warned, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Says Carl Jung, what the gods understood about Kratos, what they exploited for centuries, is something many of us fail to recognize in ourselves. The shadow doesn't serve a man. The man serves the shadow. Today, we're stepping into the mind of the ghost of Sparta to uncover a psychological trap that doesn't just ensnare gods, but might be controlling you too. 4-3 full games. We watch as Kratos descends further into his shadow self. His rage becomes more extreme, his violence more elaborate. He believes he's becoming more powerful. But look at his eyes. Empty. Hollow. He's not becoming stronger. He's disappearing. The most revealing moment isn't when Kratos kills Zeus. It's afterward, when the vengeance is complete, the rage spent, and nothing changes. The nightmares remain. The pain persists. This is the moment a lifetime of rage is exposed to what it truly was. Not a solution, but an evasion. There's a moment in God of War, 2018, when Kratos stands before the chest that holds the blades of chaos, his past, his sins, and for a moment, he hesitates. Not because he's weak, but because he knows. Opening that chest means reopening wounds he buried beneath years of silence. See, Kratos isn't just a warrior anymore. He's something more terrifying, a father. Again, and this time, he's not holding a newborn. He's raising a mirror. Atreus isn't just a son. He's everything Kratos has tried to forget. Innocence, curiosity, hope, and that terrifies him. Rage is easy. Rage is familiar. But vulnerability? That's a battlefield he's never survived. Think about the last time someone made you angry. Really angry. Did you choose that response? Or did it choose you? In that moment, were you the master or the servant? From a dark psychology perspective, Kratos is a perfect weapon. His predictability makes him an ideal pawn. The gods don't need to control his every move. They just need to point him in a direction and let his rage do the rest. Athena's manipulation of Kratos is particularly masterful. She understands something fundamental about shadow psychology. A person running from themselves will follow anyone who promises escape. The parts of yourself you refuse to acknowledge don't just disappear. They become the very tools others use to control you. Your triggers, your blind spots, your automatic reactions. In the realm of dark psychology, self-awareness isn't just healthy, it's protective. After years of vengeance, destruction, and suffering, we find Kratos in the Norse realm. Older, quieter, a father now to Atreus. Something has changed. Every time Atreus asks about his past, Kratos deflects. He tells him no or stays silent. Why? Because speaking means remembering, and remembering means feeling. Kratos eventually picks up the blades, not to fight but to face what he did, who he was, and the monster he became. Watch this moment carefully.
Boy, listen close. I am from a land called Sparta. I made a deal with a god that cost me my soul. I killed many who were deserving, and many who were not. I killed my father.
That was your father in hell. Is this what it is to be a god? Is this how it always ends? Sons killing their mothers? Their fathers?
No. We will be the gods we choose to be. Not those who have been. Who I was is not who you be.
Kratos feels a familiar surge of rage, but doesn't surrender to it. This isn't weakness. It's the first sign of true strength, not the strength to destroy, but the strength to contain, to choose. What we're witnessing in this new chapter is something profound in shadow psychology, the beginning of integration. Kratos isn't denying his capacity for violence. He's not pretending the rage doesn't exist. He's acknowledging it, but not surrendering to it. When Kratos finally reveals his history to Atreus, we see something he's never done before. He's owning his shadow, not projecting it, not being controlled by it, but recognizing it as part himself. This is what integration looks like. Not the absence of darkness, but the acknowledgement of it. Not the denial of rage, but the choice to use it rather than be used by it. True power isn't found in surrendering to your darkness or in denying it exists. True power comes from standing in the light while acknowledging your shadow, knowing all of your parts and choosing which ones to express. But integration isn't a destination, it's a journey. Even in the Norse realm, we see Kratos struggle. The shadow doesn't simply disappear once acknowledged. It requires constant vigilance. These moments of near loss of control aren't failures. They're the real battlefield where Kratos is finally fighting the true enemy. Not Zeus, not Odin, not the gods, but the parts of himself he's allowed to control him for so long. Kratos now using control power rather than blind rage. Notice the difference in how Kratos fights now. There's power, yes, incredible power, but it's directed, chosen, contained. He's no longer a slave to his rage. He's its master. And in that mastery, he finds something rage alone could never give him: wisdom. This is a journey we're all on, whether we recognize it or not. Not to eliminate our shadows, that's impossible, but to integrate them and to become whole, become wise versions of ourselves. To acknowledge the rage, the fear, the shame, the parts of ourselves we'd rather not face, and in that acknowledgement, find true power. Kratos' journey from slave to master of his rage offers us more than entertainment. It offers illumination. The very emotions we think make us powerful, rage, ruthlessness, emotional detachment, are often what make us most vulnerable to manipulation and suffering. True power isn't found in surrendering to shadow or in denying it exists. It's found in the courage to face it, to name it, to know it as part of yourself without letting it rule you. So I ask you now, what is your shadow? What parts of yourself have you disowned, only to have them control you from the darkness? What would it mean to acknowledge them not as separate from you, but as parts of you waiting to be integrated? Ask yourself, who profits when you lose control? The journey Kratos has begun is available to all of us, but the journey of shadow recognition. And unlike vengeance, unlike rage, this journey leads somewhere worth going. The most dangerous shadow isn't rage. It's the belief that we have none. Those who believe themselves beyond shadows are the most controlled by them. So I ask you, what would happen if, just for today, you approach your darkest emotions not as enemies to be destroyed, but as messengers carrying truths you've been unwilling to hear? Remember, the shadow doesn't serve the man, but when recognized, when integrated, it can become the source of his greatest strength. If you found this exploration of dark psychology through Kratos' journey insightful, subscribe for more analyses of the shadow self in video game characters. Next week, we'll be exploring how Arthur Morgan's pursuit of redemption reveals the psychological cost of denial. Until then, remember, true power isn't found in what you unleash, but in what you understand.